Thank you for deciding to join me today. I thought it would be interesting to talk about some phobias because my content is kind of podcasty-ish one. So basically, I talk about anything and I felt like this would be what I want to watch. So I decided to pop in. Of course, I'm trying to provide authentic sources, not just source, trust me, bro. So let's talk about the first one. I have a hard time pronouncing those because I'm not a native speaker. So please excuse my accent overall and the pronunciation of these words. So let's talk about the first one, which is bludophobia. It is the persistent, abnormal and unwarranted fear of bathing, washing or cleaning. It is a situation-specific phobia, and I think this definitely should be a part of this video, because how in the hell can somebody be afraid of bathing? I have to mention this. The sources are healthtopia.net, list25.com. I really had to mention this. So I believe it's true, and just imagine you started dating someone. You are about to move in with them, and then you wonder why you're not going to shower. And they're just like, bro, I'm afraid of washing myself. Like my mind would literally freeze. Now I don't know the details about it, but truly it is crazy. Let's go to another one. So number 2, it's called globophobia, fear of balloons. Source website called livescience.com. Globophobia is a fear of balloons. According to a 2013 article in the British Medical Journal, people with this condition may have an intense fear at the sight, touch, or even smell of balloons. Most individuals, however, are only afraid of the popping sound. The article notes, honestly, this is insane. I just cannot believe this exists. Honestly, what do you think? Like, why would they be scared of it? I'm not a psychologist, but I would like to know the deeper picture behind it. I just really don't know what to say. Number 3 or 4, banana phobia. Oh my god, this is fear of bananas. Banana phobia is, as the name suggests, a fear of bananas. One such case was reported in the Daily Mail. According to this report, a female patient had been scared of bananas all her life, so much so that she could not stand being in the same room as them without feeling nauseated or nauseous. Psychotherapy, the woman claimed, was able to help her overcome the banana phobia. Imagine if there was also a phobia of unhealthy food and they couldn't stay in a room with unhealthy food and they would get nauseous from McDonald's or anything. Don't know if that exists, but let's go further. Toilet phobias. Toilet phobias is a term used to describe a number of conditions in which people have difficulties around using the toilet. According to the Charity National Phobic Society, these phobias may manifest as fear of being too far from the toilet, fear of using public toilets, or fear that others may be watching or listening when using the toilet. People with these conditions may go to extreme lengths to avoid going to the loo. The Huffington Post UK reported a sad case of a 16-year-old patient who was so scared of toilets that she passed away from holding her bowel movements for nearly 2 months. I just don't know what to say, honestly. To me, it kind of really blows my mind. The another one, vestiphobia or vestiphobia, fear of clothing. According to a 2011 case report published in the journal Grain Rounds, people with the condition may fear a specific garment, or they may be scared of tight-fitting clothing that causes one to feel constrained. In extreme cases, the patient may withdraw from society completely in order to avoid being clothed. In the case report, researchers described a case of a 21-year-old Chinese military conscript trainee. The patient had no history of mental illness or psychiatric treatment, and he had never participated in military activities before. Soon after starting his field training sessions, he began experiencing symptoms like heart palpitations, chest tightness, and cramps. The patient claimed that the symptoms were triggered only upon putting on his unloaded protective body vest, which progressively worsened after a slow walk. I'm so speechless that I only dare give them to you to say down below your thoughts. Another one, eisotrophobia, isotrophobia, fear of mirrors. Isotrophobia is a fear of mirrors. This phobia is also sometimes referred to as spectrophobia or ketotrophobia. People with this fear are unable to look at themselves in a mirror. This fear may also extend to any reflective surface. This fear may stem from superstitions about mirror. For instance, a person may be afraid because they believe it will cause them bad luck. Others may fear that they will see something supernatural in the mirror, such as ghosts. Isoptrophobia can develop from low self-esteem, as a person may feel ashamed of their physical appearance and not want to see it in a mirror. It can lead to depression in some cases, which may require professional treatment in the form of counseling and medication. I won't be adding commentary to this one, even though by this I am adding. The another one, fear of dining with others, or also called Dipnophobia. I actually heard about this phobia from my family member who works at a hotel. Said she worked with a colleague who experiences this phobia, but I don't know if it's really weird because it sounded interesting to me. I decided to add this here. Dipnophobia is a fear of dining with others. This often manifests as a fear of dinner parties and may stem from a fear of dinner conversations or having to carry out a conversation while eating. It may be related to an underlying social phobia. In many cases, dipnophobia is triggered by traumatic events from an individual's past, such as being ridiculed as a child for the way they ate or for not following proper etiquette at the dinner table. The fear of dining with others can also be related to a fear of being criticized for the way a person eats. A person with dipnophobia may feel awkward eating in front of others and therefore avoid it. People with dipnophobia tend to eat alone or prefer to eat in silence if they do eat with others. I feel bad, honestly, for people who may experience this, especially if it comes from something deeper like this. The website that provided these two last phobias was therecoveryvillage.com, just to make it straight. And the another one that piqued my interest from this website is this: pogonophobia, or known as fear of beards. Pogonophobia is a fear of beards. This usually stems from an alarming incident with a bearded person. It could also arise from a person not liking that a beard hides someone's face. People with pogonophobia will avoid those with beards and may even have anxiety when looking at a picture of a bearded person. They usually will not be friends with someone who has a beard and will feel extremely nervous when talking to someone who does. Go to another. Fear of adolescence, or known as, well, I'm going to give it a shot, but this is insane to pronounce. Ephibophobia, maybe. Ephibophobia. It sounds weird for me, but definitely I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm just learning English, so you cannot judge me as if I were a native speaker. This phobia is a fear of adolescence or youth. People with this phobia may perceive teenagers as out of control or dangerous and believe they are rude, unpredictable, and do not follow rules. This fear is thought to develop from the negative portrayal of teenagers in the media. People with this phobia are afraid of teenagers and will not want to be around them. People with this fear may avoid going to a friend's house if they have teenagers, or avoid places where teenagers tend to hang out. The number is also weird. Fear of numbers, or arithmophobia. Many people grow up dreading math class, but people with arithmophobia have a genuine fear of numbers. People with this fear usually experience anxiety associated with doing math or dealing with numbers in general, versus fear of actually seeing the number symbols. The fear of numbers is also sometimes referred to as numerophobia. Arithmophobia can significantly impair a person's life, as it is difficult to do many tasks or occupations without dealing with numbers. Another one, fear of opening one's eyes. This fear can be extremely debilitating, as it is hard for an individual to carry out daily activities without opening their eyes. People with optophobia may prefer to stay indoors or in dimly lit areas. This phobia is usually associated with a generalized anxiety disorder. Like many other rare phobias, this fear is usually the result of a traumatic incident. And the another one is fear of beautiful women, called Kaliginophobia. I really don't know how to pronounce this. You will have it on the screen. Also known as Venastrophobia, the fear of beautiful women goes way beyond nervousness or intimidation around someone pretty. Those with a phobia might feel chest pain and numbness in the extremities, or faint when around a woman they consider attractive. I have to mention this. The healthy.com was the source of this one. Another one is insane. Fear of sitting down. Kafisophobia. While you look forward to sinking into a comfy chair after a long day, some people experience the fear of sitting down. While phobias can sometimes severely disrupt daily life, there's something to be said for not sitting for long periods of time. Harvard Medical School experts warn about the dangers of prolonged sitting, stating that habitual inactivity raises risk for obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, deep vein thrombosis, and metabolic syndrome. Fear of gold. Aurophobia. A fancy necklace doesn't usually impress everyone, especially those with the fear of gold. They could have panic attacks with nausea, sweating, or an irregular heartbeat when they see someone else wearing the medal. Aside from gold jewelry, there are some other unusual causes of feeling anxious. And I have to add my personal one. My personal one was really weird, really weird. And if I will tell you straight ahead, it will almost not make sense or anything. But when I was like 5 years old, I used to watch cartoons, and usually in some episodes of these TV shows for children, there used to be some kind of really tall, like way taller flower than the person, and the flower would try to attack and chase that character that I liked, and they really threatened them, they chased them. That flower usually looked really creepy, even though, you know, an inanimate object that usually doesn't move is chasing someone down. That gave me, when I was a child, fear of flowers. And I remember I once told my teacher when we were doing some work outside, like schoolwork, helping the school with stuff, I remember telling her this, and I don't really remember her reaction, but she was confused. But now, as an adult, I'm no more afraid of flowers. But if I went and told anyone straight ahead that I had this fear of flowers, they were really confused. So yeah, feel free to let me know down below what you think. The time infinitely speed up after 2020. Positive effects of gaming. Social media make us more antisocial in some cases. Those are some of my podcasty-ish type of videos, so feel free to hang out with me more in my other videos. Don't feel forced. Just if you want to, of course. It would help me if you subscribe or like or ring that bell or share it. Please don't feel like you have to, or I'm forcing you. I'm just mentioning this because it would really help me out. Thank you for joining me and making it all the way to the end. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to catch you soon.